Welcome to Tracking the Week. On Monday, the Supreme Court in Abuja reserved judgment in a fresh legal battle by the All Progressive Congress (APC) and its governorship candidate Senator Aisha Dahiru Binani, seeking to unseat Umar Ahmadu Fintiri as the duly elected governor of Adamawa State. The Apex Court deferred final judgment after fierce legal fireworks by the legal team of the governorship candidate led by Chief Akin Olujimi San and that of Governor Fintiri headed by Damien Dodo San. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that during the argument, Olujimi, a former Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice, asked a five-member panel of justices to invoke Section 152 of the Electoral Act 2022 to declare Binani as the lawfully elected governor of Adamawa State. The Supreme Court eventually affirmed the election of Governor Ahmadu Fintiri as governor of Adamawa State. Justice John Okoro, who prepared and read the led judgment, dismissed the appeal by the governorship candidate of the All Progressive Congress, APC, Aisha Dahiru. While dismissing an appeal for lacking in merit, the five-member panel led by Justice John Okoro held that the act of the resident electoral commissioner, Hudu Ari, was an act of irresponsibility and criminality. And still on Monday, the Central Bank of Nigeria said it has released over $500 million to various sectors in its determination to address the backlog of verified foreign exchange transactions. Mrs. Hakama, CBN's acting director, Corporate Communications Department, said this in a statement in Abuja. According to her, this comes barely a week after the Apex Bank paid approximately $2.0 billion to settle outstanding commitment across manufacturing, aviation, and petroleum sectors. She said that the management of the CBN was committed to settling all legitimate foreign exchange backlogs within a short time frame. She said the CBN had begun implementing a comprehensive strategy to improve liquidity in the Nigerian foreign exchange market in the short, medium, and long terms. Sidi Ali said that the forex market reforms were designed to streamline and unify multiple exchange rates, foster transparency, and reduce arbitrage opportunities. She expressed confidence that a stable exchange rate will boost investor confidence and attract foreign investment. She urged all participants in the market to play by the rules, adding that transparency in the market would enable the fair determination of exchange rates. And on Tuesday, the federal government said the inauguration of the Tripartite Committee on National Minimum Wage for Workers is a clear expression of its desire to nurture a motivated workforce. Vice President Kashim Shettima made a declaration on Tuesday while inaugurating the committee at the Presidential Villa, Abuja. He stressed that the exercise re-emphasizes the importance of workers to the development of the nation as the labor force stands as the cornerstone of the progress of every nation, and that of Nigeria has been the enduring engine of the common pursuit to development. While highlighting the financial capacity of all tiers of government to pay the new minimum wage, the Secretary to the Government of the Federation, George Akume, urged the committee to ensure its deliberation to consider the interests of all employers of labor. Following the consideration of the final recommendation, the government decision will be presented as an executive bill to the National Assembly to undergo thorough legislative scrutiny before being passed into law. And still on Tuesday, the Senate resumed legislative duties from the 4 weeks Christmas and New Year break. At the resumed plenary on Tuesday, the Senate President Godswill Akpabio commended the senators for their dexterity and the sacrifices made towards the successful passage of the 2024 budget presented by President Bola Tinubu. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that Akpabio, in his charge to the senators, admitted that the next few months will be challenging as issues bordering on security, economy, health, among others, will take the center stage of debate on the floor. He admonished them to brace up for the task ahead and focus on the job at hand, noting that the legislative duties should be devoid of personal interests and ambitions, but should aim towards the collective aspirations of all Nigerians. And moving to Wednesday, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu has deplored that he termed mislabeling and blanket stereotyping of Nigeria as a country with the highest prevalence of cybercrime and other forms of corrupt practices among its population, saying it undermines majority of the citizens maintaining the principles of integrity and diligence. He regretted that over the years the entire Nigerian populace had been linked with internet crimes without statistical proof, a development he said is out of tune with the way of life of the typical Nigerian citizen. The president made the observation on Wednesday during a public engagement on youth, religion and the fight against corruption, as well as the launch of Interfaith Manual and Fraud Risk Assessment Project for MDAs at the Yaradua Center, Abuja. The event, organized by the Economic and Financial Crimes Commission, is a multidimensional stakeholders' involvement in the fight against economic and financial crimes. And still on Wednesday, the Senate on Wednesday, through a committee on banking, insurance and other financial institutions, summoned the governor of the Central Bank of Nigeria, Olayemi Cardoso, to appear before it on Tuesday next week to answer questions on the state of the economy and the free fall of Naira in the forex market. The committee, chaired by Senator Adetokunbo Abiru, met on Wednesday when the Naira plummeted to 1,520 Naira to a US dollar and resolved to summon the CBN governor on the way out. Speaking with journalists after the meeting held behind closed doors, Abiru said the state of the economy, especially inflation index, was of great concern to the lawmakers. He said the meeting was held essentially to focus on the direction of the Nigerian economy, noting that underlining the major issue of the economy is the way the inflation index has been, and of course it is a major concern to all and sundry. Abiru disclosed that critical issues were addressed, and the committee believed that the next line of action is to summon the governor of the central bank on Tuesday at 3 o'clock to brief them properly on the state of the economy. And on Thursday, the Inspector General of Police, IGP Kayode Egbetokun, has ordered the restriction of all forms of vehicular movement on roads, waterways and other forms of transportation from 12 a.m. to 6 p.m. on election day in all states where elections will be conducted. This is with the exception of those on essential services such as INEC officials, electoral observers, accredited media and observers, both foreign and domestic, ambulances responding to medical emergencies, firefighters, among others. During the upcoming 2024 runoff and by-election scheduled to take place across 26 states on Saturday, February 3rd, 2024, the affected states include Ebonyi, Yobe, Kebbi, Lagos, Ondo, Taraba, Benue, Borno, Kaduna, Plateau, Akwa Ibom, Anambra, Cross River, Delta, Enugu, Jigawa, Katsina, Adamawa, Bauchi, Bayelsa, Kano, Nasarawa, Niger, Oyo, Sokoto, and Zamfara. The IGP, in a statement issued and signed by the Force Public Relations Officer Muyiwa Adejobi in Abuja, also ordered a ban on all security aids to VIPs and escorts from accompanying their principals and politicians to polling booths and collation centers during the election. States established and owned security outfits and organizations, quasi-security units, and privately owned guard and security outfits are also barred from participating in election security management. And still on Thursday, the Federal Ministry of Education is partnering with the World Bank to launch an initiative aimed at eradicating unemployment and create job opportunities for Nigerian youth through strategic approach. Minister of Education Tahir Mamman disclosed this at a one-day stakeholders workshop in Abuja on Thursday. The minister, who was represented by Director Technology and Science Education, explained that the workshop was organized to explore ways in which the initiative can reach and benefit young people across the country to promote productivity and self-employment. She noted that the unemployment is a threat to society, therefore the project is aimed to empower youth with in-demand and diverse skill sets that will contribute to the growth of the nation. And finally, on Friday, the quest by 5 loyalists of Governor Simin Alayi Fubara of Rivers State charged with terrorism offenses to stop the Inspector General of Police, IGP, from proceeding with their prosecution on terrorism for offences suffer major setback. The application seeking to stop the IGP on the ground that they can only be put on trial on terrorism charges by the Attorney General of the Federation, AGF, and Minister of Justice was dismissed by a federal high court in Abuja on Friday. Correspondent Kunle Ojo reports that Justice Mobolaji Olajuwon, in a ruling in the preliminary objections raised against the IGP, held that the defendants were wrong in their claims that only the AGF can put them on trial. Justice Olajuwon said that the law, especially Section 363 and 74 of the Terrorism Prevention Act, were clear to the effect that while the AGF has constitutional power to strengthen the terrorism prevention law, the same sections did not confer the exclusive rights to prosecute on the AGF. And still on Friday, in the wake of numerous crises in the aviation sector, the federal government is seeking for aviation workers' cooperation to end the crisis and to achieve its renewed hope, especially its targeted goals in the aviation sector. Minister of Aviation and Aerospace Development, Festus Keyamo, who spoke on behalf of the federal government at the 10th edition of the Aviation Workers Week with the theme Workers as Strategic Partners in Achieving the Aviation Roadmap held in Abuja, Friday, stated that nothing can be achieved in the ministry without the workers' input. Keyamo, who lamented the challenges facing the sector, said that the event signals the advent of the expected bond within the aviation family. He also applauded the workers' union for their unwavering support to President the Tinubu-led administration, hoping that more would be achieved with improved workers-government collaboration. Earlier in his remark, the chairman of the Joint Consultative and Negotiating Council of the Ministry, Comrade Hector Nadi, pledged the continued loyalty of the union to help drive the 5-point agenda in line with the renewed hope mantra of the present administration. Speaking on the relocation of some offices under the aviation ministry, Nandi stated that the union is not against the move inasmuch as the environment is conducive for the workers. And that's all we have on Tracking the Week.